Yeah. The game music's a little bit loud, but
Origin 325 here.
yeah. So the 300 series has got a few variants, and this is their like combat orientated one. It's a little bit slower. Oh, we can't go in it.
It's not really combat colours, like, is it?
No. They're quite unique for Star Citizen because it's like buying a car. You can actually spec out the ship, the interior, any options you want on it. So you'll pledge for the ship, and then there's an additional bit of where you can customize it. I think at one point they planned to do that for most of the ships, but for whatever reason it's just that one at the moment. We'll go around here first, then come back to the holograms. It's freaking loud.
Oh, is that the EMP ship?
Yeah, so it has like a, I think they call it a QED drive, so a quantum device, quantum enhancement device, I think, if I remember right. But you can pull people out of quantum with it, so when it first come out they were everywhere, but it's pretty much an instant crime stat for like an illegal use.
Yeah.
But it's quite a fancy ship. It's nimble as a small ship. Whether or not like there'll be scaled up versions, so will there be a capital ship that can quantum or pull people out of quantum at a massive scale, bigger range? Who knows? But it's quite effective. The animation on it looks good. We were having some fun with that yesterday. When we were at that ship show, the in-game ship show the other week, you couldn't with all the lag, you couldn't see how it opens up and it kind of builds up this red ball of energy. But we can have a look at that a little bit later today.
Cool.
The constellations are always a bit weird because they're like a love or hate. I'm on love. I think they're ace. I think they visually.
Yeah, I like the look of them as well.
I think
I'm really tempted with getting that constellation of Quill after the game.
Exploration, yeah. So this is the gunship version, and it's pretty decked out. I think this is the of all of them. I think the Taurus, actually, we'll see that in a minute. It's probably, I think that's the cheapest, for want of a better phrase, but it's quite capable. There's a lot of you've got four the weapons are slave to the pilot, so you can use it solo. But it is, I think this really is the first group ship that you'd be looking at for group play.
Go in it, combo.
I don't think we can go in these because it just gives you the option to rent. Oh no, we can. I've just got to hit it right.
Cargo up, yeah. You can get a rover on this, can't you?
Yeah, so it comes with a rover and the snub ship. So we'll have a look at that. It's at the back. Actually, we'll start from the bridge because I might be able to power it up so there's lights. That's probably as good as we're going to get. Oh, nothing.
Stick my lights on. top and bottom turret there as well, aye.
Yeah, and I think you can certainly see yourself, isn't it, in a small group. Whatever combat. You don't necessarily need to have all the seats filled. The idea with some of these group ships is that you might have your co-pilot and someone else running some of the systems, but if the shit hits the fan, they'll jump on the turrets, so you don't need everything manned, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it also adds to gameplay because you've got choices. But I always think of Star Wars, doesn't it? They'll the Millennium Falcon, isn't it? Oh, we get attacked by Titan. They're off doing other things. They get attacked. They run to the turrets. You get that kind of immersion.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's a brilliant cockpit. It always reminds me of Prometheus.
Yeah, definitely. Aye.
So this is the kind of main entrance as well. We're standing on airlock. We'll maybe leave that way, but. Now I think the beds double as escape pods as well. That's not working in game yet. But obviously you've got loads of storage and everything. At some point you'll have weapons and armors and crap like that in here. I think there is a toilet. It doesn't come out. So you'll be able to support long range missions or the different variants. Obviously the exploration one's more tuned for that. So it was designed to fit the rover in, so you do have the choice though, either the rover or cargo.
Pretty cool, the missile racks there.
Yeah. And then at the back you've got the access to the snub fighter. Don't want to enter it, just open.
Oh, that'll be fun trying to dock that, won't it?
Yeah, so it doesn't work at the moment. Yeah, there has to be some form of autopilot or something that reach out and grabs it. The Merlin. So there's no quantum drive on it, just a small snub fighter. So not massive weapons, but very maneuverable. But again, you can imagine you're out somewhere with the crew, something happens, jump on turrets, does someone else jump on the snub fighter and help out? Some EVA doors. We'll go down the airlock. I think this is one of the best airlocks in the game.
Lock up. Well, no, honey.
We'll have a quick. We did this one the other day, but we'll have a quick look at the Phoenix. So this is the luxury version of the same thing. Cockpit's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And the crew quarters, but then so really like touring gameplay when that comes in. So you potentially moving VIP passengers or going to see some sights somewhere, but there will be some gameplay to support that as a career path.
My favourite place, the bar. Oh, another jacuzzi.
I'm not sure on that. I always wondered because it's obviously not full, but they have a bit more of a posh snub fighter in the back. Obviously bedroom. If you stand on this square with me, Biv. And I've got to find the button for it. So cargo bay's way bigger, but you can see what they've done. Where we had the walkway on the top is the top floor. It's clever use of space.
Oh, right, okay, I thought that. So the other bits for the rover to go in, this is the cargo up here.
Yeah, so this variant, like this would be where the cargo bay was on the other one. Like it's just strapped underneath those rooms at the top. They've just used the space a lot better. It's a bigger, cargo bay as well, by the looks of it.
Canny.
So I think this is the one you're interested in, then, the Aquila.
Yeah.
Aquila. So it's pretty much the same thing. The main difference being the top turret is a scanning.
Alright.
I don't know if it'll let you go in it. And obviously the bridge gives you, I guess, a bit more kind of view. Or the cockpit.
Yeah, it seems a bit more open, doesn't it?
Yeah, but this is all built around exploration, this variant. Other than that, it's the same as the others. Oh, I'm popping out.
The Aurora.
Yeah, so this should be the LN, I believe. Yeah. So this is the Aurora that's just been kitted out with more weapons, missiles. I don't think it's available very often, so it's not a bad upgrade. At one point, this was the favoured little fighter. So we've gone a long way since then, but right, fun bit. So these are either anything in the holograms either too big or in development. So we might see some ships that are large. It doesn't necessarily mean they're in development. But this is the Taurus. So it's another variant of the Constellation, but this is the cargo one. I think we were looking at this yesterday, and we've got these little dome things. Which is I believe it's some form of point defense, but larger cargo capacity. It's designed for carrying cargo. It's a bit stripped down, I think, is the description. Actually, there is a description here somewhere. Blurred writing. Blah blah blah. Streamlined chassis, yeah, that can handle more cargo. I'll let you have a read yourself. It's a shame you can't walk through them. And then over here.
This is Polaris.
Polaris, yeah. Let's see what they say.
Mean not to ship that, like.
It's penned in as like it is a torpedo boat, so I can't remember the size of the torpedoes now, but yeah, capital hunter, shields over armor though, so hit and run tactics on bigger stuff, but it is I guess a capital hunter. Probably best used in packs, maybe, but certainly for solo use, not solo, but solo groups or smaller groups, just want to run a ship together. Combat, search and rescue, quite self-sufficient. So there's lots of where military ships in general are kind of stripped down and not necessarily all basic. This has got a lot more amenities to support a crew. And I think it's probably a lot more flexible for the roles that you might want to use it on. Obviously not ideal for cargo against some of the other cargo stuff, but if you were doing small cargo runs, maybe you just have to balance that with maybe any costs of running it for that size.
Yeah.
But I think some of the things that they've put it down for is or ideas for use, so search and rescue. But it's one of those. So whereas the Constellation is probably the first group ship type of ship that you can use that's got these different variants depending on what your group might want to do, I'd probably say this is that first kind of route towards running a larger ship. Massive hangar. So where I'm stood here, pretty much from the turret to the back of these winglet bits is a hangar bay. So large fighter, say a Warden size, the 325 we saw in there would fit in it.
Warden, is that big?
So yeah, large torpedoes. You've got hangar support for whatever. But it's a sleek looking ship.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really popular. Well, it is really popular. They're on sale at the moment as part of the event, and they pretty much sell out. There's a couple of waves that they do it around the world to give everyone a chance, and they're selling out within seconds.
I bet they are now.
So
What's over
the other side's just a mirror of this side, so we'll skip that because there's another hall. We'll just quickly whiz round. Bit of a drink. I'm not too sure if this is going to change every day because vehicles are obviously a little bit separate. So today is Tumbril, RSI, not Origin. But we do have the Anvil Ballista, so I think the vehicle pool might just stay the same throughout the week.
Oh, that's me and Nat, like.
Occasionally we get them out to play with people that have got them, but not really used much because there's not really much vehicle play in the game at the moment.
Two-man crew.
Yeah, two-man crew to mobile. You could do it with one if you want to go and park it somewhere and set it up. Torpedoes launching and these missiles launching are some of the best things I've seen in the game.
Yeah.
Because they literally are like missiles. They tend to act the same way, so they'll detach and fire off, and you'll see the I guess the engine or whatever's powering them kind of ignite and fire off. But the animation on them is really cool. Maybe pencil that in actually. So RSI Rover.
Yeah, got one of them.
Yeah, so I think at the moment we haven't really got full exploration stuff in terms of scanning and everything, but I think this will be your primary go-to. If you're going to go for, if you're looking at the Aquila for exploration, you get one of these with it. We can already see the Tumbril ones in the background where we're looking now. Why they do, there is an exploration variant with a good scanner on it for I think the description is terrain mapping, so at some point that'll be in. They're open air, so you're exposed to the elements. And as we've seen now, that's been added into the game where you know, you could freeze or you could overheat depending on what the environment's like. You're not affected by that in the rover, so the rover's still going to be the go-to kind of exploration vehicle. You can carry more than one people in it. It's got a turret on top. It's just a little bit slow. Best to come around the back of these. I haven't got much time today, but actually, I didn't need to rent them. I think I've got access to some of these anyway. So you've got an AA version. I think it's only got 2 missiles. They all vary in speeds a little bit depending on what they've done with them. This one's the cargo one. We should be able to open this. Maybe. I'm just trying to see if I can open the cargo. Might be able to do it from the seat.
Oh, I've seen this one before. You've got one of these ones, haven't you? The turret.
Yeah, they're quite funky. There'll be a button somewhere. Maybe not. No, I can't manually do it. Not much cargo space, but I guess if you're doing something in a vehicle, I kind of think more exploration, you'll find something. You'd like to think down the road that we'll have some more vehicle-specific missions where some area might be covered by anti-air or restricted some way that you do need to use the vehicles for. They'd be brilliant to be some missions with some form of recovery where you would need some cargo to put it in and bring it back. We've got the turret variant. You can change the weapon as well. But unfortunately, yeah, not much vehicle gameplay. I know you're going to love this, so if actually I can't do it in a way that would surprise you, but
Oh, no, tank.
yeah.
That's not going to be its actual size, is it? It's going to be bigger than that.
Yeah, it's a five man. I can't think off the top of my head where it would be with someone next to it, but a lot bigger than this. So the Hercules were one of the goals with the Hercules was that it must fit 2 tanks, military transport. So while this isn't the exact size, we know the Hercules is on its way. Hopefully we'll see some hollows of that later in the week, but yeah, the tank looks pretty cool. Again, there's no vehicle gameplay, so how useful these will be, certainly at the moment, it doesn't exist in game at the moment, so pretty useless.
On it as well. Yeah. Smoke discharges on it.
Yeah, but when it is, and when there's some gameplay missions for it, I think it'll be pretty cool to do. It'll be pretty cool to see as well to tie it with the Hercules. Hercules is a very popular ship because of how it looks and the size of it. So I think we'll see a lot of people more than happy to move you around once we've got some gameplay that supports tanks. There will be land bases, so you will be able to make bases and stuff as well, so maybe this will be part of the security stuff with it, to guard stuff, or maybe even assaulting somebody else's land base.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and take out the anti-air.
B12.
Yeah, so we knew there was an Origin rover in development, well, not necessarily in development, but for a while, because the 600i, which is it's like a step-up version of between the Carrack and the Constellation, so somewhere in the middle, but a luxury exploration. Comes with an Origin rover. No one really saw it until Friday when they announced the Origin rover. So this is the military version. Oh, sorry, it's not the military version, that's the stock version with the turret and 2 SCU. So again, I think in my head, picturing down the road, go and retrieve something, bit of fighting, stick it in the cargo, back to your ship and off you go. The military version, which I'm surprised it didn't show as it's supposed to be a military event, but I guess the turret counts. So this is the kind of standard version. The military one is medium armor, a little bit slower, but has, I think, 8 missiles. No turret, interestingly, no turret. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd probably prefer turret. Probably more useful on the ground. The brochure that they did with it, that's still or will be available if you look it up on the site, has some brilliant pictures. Obviously, they're all marketing pictures for the rover, but have some brilliant pictures of 3 of the military ones, like in a convoy, and a couple of Valkyries floating overhead. Again, kind of sets that scene. Hopefully we'll be able to do and be kind of immersed in something like that, but we're probably a little while away from that yet. It is supposed to be in development, so there's a good chance that we'll see this soon. No doubt it will just be an announce that anyone that's already pledged for it can now have access to it. Hopefully sooner rather than later, because it looks like quite a cool one to whiz around in.
Yeah,